Hey designers! Today I want to talk to you about an event I went to recently called Epicurrence. This is the t-shirt from it. And also just about generally investing in yourself and in your career. If you haven't heard of Epicurrence, it's a series of events run by Dan Petty, and they're kind of like an unconference in that it's not where you go along and there's a schedule and there's talks and workshops and things. It's more of like a gathering of people and conversations structured around a certain topic. I'd heard good things about this event series. It seemed like everyone who attended gets a lot out of it, and it just seemed like the place to be, you know? So when Epicurrence Unknown was announced and they said it had a theme of design leadership and it was going to be held in Tennessee in the Great Smoky Mountains, I was like, I think this is it. I think this is the Epicurrence that I have to go to. Small side note, I went to an Epicurrence run event earlier on the year actually called Winter Work Week. That was more of a proper conference. I hosted a workshop there and there was keynote talks and things. So I was excited to check out this like classic Epicurrence as it was intended event. So even though, you know, I'd seen people tweeting about these events for the past few years, I still wasn't 100% sure exactly what to expect from being there, but I knew I just wanted to go in with an open mind and be ready to meet people. It helped that this was a really small group. I think there was 35 people there. So, you know, that's not too overwhelming for an introvert like me. Now, the value that I got from Epicurrence almost started before the event did, because I drove out there from Nashville to the Smoky Mountains, which is like a 4-hour drive or so, with Ran, who you've seen his channel before, I'm sure. He is Flux on YouTube, and if you're not subscribed to him, go and do that because he is probably my favorite design YouTuber. We drove out there with Oliver, who, as we learned on our journey, is one of the founders of ThreadUp. So it was a really interesting car ride, lots of good conversations, and we did some exploring and things along the way as well. It was just fun right away, and obviously I already knew Ran, but I didn't know Oliver before this, but the fact that we were able to talk so easily right from the start just made me really excited for the few days ahead. On the first night, after we'd had some dinner, some discussions kicked off with Sarah and Dan from Dribble, and they really did set a really good tone for the event, talking immediately like about leadership and how hard it is and like the things that they struggle with. Epicurrence has a thing called the Nest where people can like be really open, knowing that people won't repeat things they're saying back to the rest of the world. So like, I'm not gonna go into extreme detail about what they were talking about, but just trust me that it was really eye-opening and things got vulnerable right away, which I loved. The event was across 3 evenings and 2 days, and we were staying in these tents. It feels weird to call them a tent because it felt really more like, I don't know, a cross between a tent and a little hut, and that had a wooden floor, had a proper bed, had an actual bathroom and things like that, but the walls were all made of canvas. We were staying under canvas in the Smoky Mountains, if you've heard of that like chain of places before. I think they have them in Zion and Yellowstone, possibly some other places too. But yeah, they're really cool. They had a wood stove in them as well to keep us warm because it was extremely cold there. The whole campsite was booked out for Epicurrence, so that was pretty cool. We had this one main like lobby area where we would gather for meals and for evening discussions with a fireplace outside for like lots of good fireside chats. That really did give it this like community atmosphere, and also there was no cell phone service there and no Wi-Fi. So that forced us to like talk to each other instead of being on our phones. We couldn't just like duck back to our tent and do some work or something. And I actually kind of liked that. Again, I was nervous about that to start with, but you know, it turned out to be for the best. During the 2 days we did activities. So the first day we went for this hike where we walked some llamas. I thought when they first mentioned going on a hike with llamas that maybe the llamas would carry our stuff because it was going to be a long hike or something, but no, we just walked them like on a leash as if you would a dog. It was a pretty unique experience and very, very fun. And the next day the activity we did was riding around in ATVs through like some trails in the national park. So again, that was super fun. So that was a day hanging out together, getting to know each other, and like, you know, just doing stuff and having experiences together, which was really fun. And then in the evenings, just like on the first night, there was more discussions, the people leading on a sofa and everyone else were like on chairs and things around them, wrapped in blankets. It's a very cozy atmosphere and completely unlike any conference we've been to, which is why I guess they don't call it a conference. So those discussions were great. People were super honest and open, and after the official stuff wrapped up, we'd all go out by the fire and make s'mores and continue talking about whatever, like, I don't know, thoughts came to mind as we were listening and joining in with the conversation. Now, tickets to this event were quite expensive. They were, I think, $3,500 for a ticket. I got a discount on mine because I'd spoken at Winter Work Week earlier on in the year, but still, I feel like even if I paid full price, I definitely would have gotten the value out of this event to warrant going and to like make it worth it. I don't know if it's just because I've been to so many design conferences by now that I'm getting a bit burnt out on keynote talks, but this format of it being discussions and conversations about super deep topics just really connected with me, and it's something that I haven't found at any other event before. I got a lot of clarity while on this event about what I want for my future in my career, and just in general advice on leading and the emotional weight that comes with having people follow you, I suppose. This was like the ultimate form of like networking for me, even though that is definitely the wrong word for it. But I was meeting other people in the design industry who were all like well above me, well ahead in their careers, and we were just having really good conversations, and I feel like they are people now that I can turn to when I do need help, and in turn if there's anything that I can help them with, I know that they will feel comfortable coming to me because we had those great conversations and we like built up that relationship over these few days. I think especially as an introvert, that level of connection I find really hard to create at a traditional conference where you're going along to talks and things. I've definitely gotten better at it over the years, but I often find that I might meet someone kind of cool at a conference, but we really get to know each other when we've followed each other on Twitter afterwards, for example, or like, you know, maybe we hang out and get coffee next time I'm in their city. But this event kind of like compressed all of that, getting to know each other and building up a rapport and like a level of trust into the few days, and I think that's amazing. I feel like this year in particular I've really learned the value of networking and how it is just building up relationships with people. I used to think that networking wasn't for me, it wasn't really valid in my career, it was like a, you know, big corporate business thing, but networking is just, like I said, building relationships. So I think that's valid for anyone, no matter what like industry they're in. And I think the design community is still kind of small, and so there's like no excuse for not trying to get involved with it and make those connections. So all this to say, I think that investing in going along to this event is one of the best things that I've done for my career this year. It, like I said, was expensive, but absolutely it was the right choice. So if you have something right now where you're thinking of investing in yourself, your personal growth, your career growth, and you're like unsure about it, I think you should go for it. I think that events and, you know, anything that you're investing in is always a case of you get out what you put in. So like I said, I went along to Epicurrence with an open mind, and I wanted to have real conversations with people, so I like had to pluck up the courage sometimes to actually start them or like join a group, you know, but it was totally worth it. I got a lot out of the event. So I really want to encourage you to invest in yourself and your career growth too. There's no like surefire event I can tell you about to go to, or like course to buy or whatever that is for sure gonna like 10x your success, that sort of thing. But I think you can judge for yourself by hearing from other people who have attended that event or taken that course or whatever, and make an informed choice about where you spend your money and what you're going to invest in, and then just give it your all when you do invest in it. I think it's really hard to succeed on your own, and I think you can always benefit from talking to other people in your industry and learning from what they have to say. So put yourself in a situation where you can meet those people, and I'm sure it's going to do you some good. Alright, hope you enjoyed hearing about Epicurrence. I am definitely going to go back to another one. I think they're doing about like 2 to 3 per year. So for sure I'll be at one in 2019. I don't know where or when yet, but I'm keeping my eyes open for it because I think that going to one of these a year is going to be an amazing like reset for me, and like a moment to decompress, check in, and like get some more clarity about which direction I'm heading in. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to have had the opportunity to attend one, and just really glad I went. Thank you for watching. If you've got any questions about Epicurrence, about the event, then please leave them down below in the comments, because I didn't write a script for this video, so I don't know exactly what I covered and what I didn't. There might be something glaring that I'm missing, but yeah. Let me know what you want to know and I will answer them down there. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!